Yes.
Keith Muhakanizi, one of the longest-serving technocrats in President Museveni's government, died last evening at the age of 64. Muhakanizi joined the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development in 1982 as an economist, growing through the ranks up to Permanent Secretary and Secretary to Treasury, a position he held until 2021. Patrick Ochailap, the Deputy Secretary to Treasury, worked closely with him for about 14 years.
Alongside his other predecessors, Professor Mutebile and the late Kasami, I feel now almost orphaned because the three of them played very key roles at different times in my career growth path.
Ochailap says Muhakanizi played a pivotal and critical role in the country's economic reforms, including liberalization.
Then came the second generation reforms, which were all aimed at improving the public finance accountability and management programs, most notable among which is the formulation of the Public Finance Management Act.
He described him as an icon, a vanguard for policy reforms and strong pillar of accountability, but a person who was result-hungry and whose assertive nature could never be hidden.
He delivered that with a degree of precision, with the passion for the reforms.
Dr. Fred Muhumuza, a development economist who also served in the Ministry of Finance as an advisor, hailed the former permanent secretary as a technocrat who was ready to make tough decisions for the good of the country and was also ready to defend them.
That was Keith, that if he really came up with a good position, he would cover the political requirements, he would cover the technical requirements and stick to the position that ought to be done. So where business had to be done, he made sure the business is done, even if it meant annoying a few individuals.
Muhumuza notes that beyond work, Muhakanizi was humorous, easy to blend with, and was always available to talk.
Quite often you'll find him in the ministry canteen, and you'll go there early, even when he's not going to eat. But he's there to blend with his staff.
And what will they miss most?
Some of those tough decisions, you want to say who else is going to stand in. Because as you say, this is the last man. We must find other people, men or women. But somebody must stand in to salvage the economy, because the economic decisions are like medical decisions.
Journalists covering the business and finance sector have fond memories of him.
And this predecessor was not easy to approach, in my view, to get news from. Even a face-to-face question, he may not have answered you. So when Keith came to finance to become BSST, he really eased the relationship between the media and finance. In fact, there are sometimes when I would call him directly, which was almost impossible to call a BSST, but I'd call him direct. He gave us his number. And you could call him and ask him a question, and he would either answer you or say, call me back later.
His childhood friend, Mwesugwa Rukutana, who says he was preparing to visit him in Italy, wrote about him from the heart. He describes him as not any other brother whose demise has gone away with a big portion of him.
At the time of his death, Keith Muhakanizi was the permanent secretary in the office of the Prime Minister. With the experience from Ministry of Finance, if he only had chance to serve in the office of the Prime Minister long enough, could he have caused any change? We would never know. Benjamin Jumbe, NTV.